What the cake is going on, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you something really simple, very versatile because you can use it in so many different ways on your cake and cupcakes, so keep on watching. All right, so as a baker, my biggest goal in making cake, and I know it sounds so silly, it's not being wasteful of my buttercream. So if I had to mix a few different colors, I want to have the perfect amount of colored buttercream so it doesn't go to waste or I have to try to use it for something else. I don't know, it's just a thing of mine. It's just like goal that I have. That's why I love doing color cakes with the rosette design. You really can't have any wasted colored buttercream. So we're gonna go from dark to light, the bottom of course being the darkest. I'm going to show you how to reuse the same color so you don't keep mixing different shades. You don't have to mix 3 different shades of pink to get this. So a little thing that I like to do with my buttercream when I'm mixing colors is not to have leftover buttercream, like a baker's mini goals. What I mean is I don't like to have extra buttercream. So that's like one of my mini goals, is to not have extra colored buttercream. So we're gonna go from dark to light, and we don't have to mix 3 different colors. We're just gonna use one bowl to mix the darkest shade, and then you just keep adding colors to make the lighter colors as you go using the same piping bag. So one bowl, one piping bag, one piping tip, one cake. Super simple, but lots of practicing to make so many different designs. I love this piping tip. It is the Wilton 2D piping tip. It's this one right here. It's the star, and it's only a couple dollars. Really good to have. So I have my piping tip in my piping bag. Another thing that I like to never reuse. I know it's plastic, but it just makes your life a lot easier buying the one-time use one. You could go ahead and wash it and reuse it, but I do reuse it if I'm using white and then I need to use a colored buttercream with a different piping tip, I just pull it out and then put another piping tip in. We're gonna start off with the darkest color. I'm gonna use pink to make it pretty. Anyone can make this cake. Learn how to bake, buttercream it, make the frosting. You get to this point, really easy. That's why I wanna show you how to make it. We're gonna start with about a cup of buttercream. 1 cup of buttercream to start for a 6-inch cake. You might see me struggling just because I'm working with a styrofoam cake, but if you have a real cake, the buttercream should stick on to your cake, no problem. Add your color of choice. Mix, mix, mix. You can't go wrong with a pretty pink color. You can always put this in a little cup to make your life easier, but I just fold it halfway, just like that. The struggle. Okay. And then when you're done adding your buttercream, you're just gonna shake it till it gets to the bottom. That's another important step so you don't have any air bubbles. So shake, shake, shake all the way down. And don't tie the top because we're gonna reuse the same bag for the next color. Okay, so, and then we're just gonna go ahead and cut this off. So you really wanna cut it right where it ends here. If you cut it too short, you're not gonna get the design, of course. And then if you cut it too big, you risk your whole piping tip just popping off when you apply pressure. So I'm just gonna go ahead and measure here, cut a little slit. See, I marked it. And then we're gonna push it back and cut where I marked it. So if you don't wanna practice straight on your cake, you can grab a couple of cupcakes and practice on there. And I will show you really quickly the technique that we're doing. So point your piping tip upwards. It doesn't start in the middle or at the end. Those are for just swirls. For the rosette look, we are doing it from the side and you end on the side. So to the side and you end on the side. Just like that. Okay, so now that you know the technique, practice, practice, practice on your cupcakes. And then now we're gonna decorate the cake from darkest to lightest. So we're gonna go ahead and do that same technique all the way around this cake. Okay, now that your bottom layer is done, sometimes you will get a few little openings in the corner, bottom corner here. You're just gonna go in and no technique, you're just gonna squeeze a little bit on there. You should not have to add any more food coloring. You're just gonna use the rest of the color buttercream in the piping bag for your next layer. And that should be the perfect next shade. Just that little tablespoon of buttercream will go a long way for your next shade. So your next shade, new buttercream, and this is it. And then the top will just be white. All right, so the way that I like to reuse my piping bag is with the next color, but it's because it's lighter, you're gonna want to squeeze out the darker color that was already in there. The way that I do that is just flush it out with the new color. Just put a little bit in there and then flush it out or squeeze it out. So I want the buttercream to stick to the side because I'm just gonna push it out. So you'll see the old color being flushed out on the corners there. See, just like that, until you want to squeeze it until no more of the old color comes out. Okay, and then we're just gonna mix it one more time. And this is our new color. Okay. Okay, so for the last layer, it's going to be for the whole side and the top. So you're gonna double the amount of buttercream and then just squeeze your leftover color from the last shade in. Repeat the process and you will have your rosette, your ombre rosette cake. Now that you have your second shade, we're gonna go into the last shade, double your bag, reuse the bag, and then we're just gonna finish it up. We're gonna do the last row and then you're gonna come in and watch just like that. And it's okay if it goes above the cake a little bit because you're going to need that height when you fill the rest of the buttercream on top there. The easiest way to do the top so you don't have it scattered anywhere is just start from the middle. Start from the middle and start doing the lines again. All right, so there you guys have it, our rosette cake with one piping tip, one color, one piping bag, one technique to achieve this beautiful ombre rosette cake. Okay, so the reason I love this tip, or get it, this tip, is because it's so versatile. So we went ahead and did our rosette ombre cake, and then now I have cupcakes in front of me that looks like a ring. So you can do this as a gift for someone, or if someone wants cupcakes and a cake, you can form the cupcakes into different shapes. So just form your cupcakes into the shape that you want. I have here, it looks like a ring. See, look, that's the diamond, and that's the ring part. So you have a really pretty display with the same technique. And there you guys have it, our piping tip tutorial today on how to make rosettes to create this beautiful cake and beautiful cupcakes in different shapes. Here I have an engagement ring. If you can see it, it's the diamond with the ring. So I hope you guys enjoy making your rosettes. If you guys liked our video today, leave a comment below and I will see you next time.